All right, so we got Amazon reported after hours, totally killing it. Twitter reported, getting destroyed. So where are we? Where are we? And that's what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna look at the market and kind of say, now most of the FANGs, I think all the FANGs reported. So now what? And I did a video a while ago. I think it was at the end of the year. I was trying to look for it. I can't find it, but I have a prediction. I predicted that the first week of May is just not gonna be good for the market. By looking at the VIX, just kind of looking at some history things, and I put that together, and now we're coming to it, and I actually see some signs that makes me believe that it might come true. A 5-month prediction I did like 5 months ago just may come true, because I do have some concerns about the market. So let's get to it. All right, we're going to do things a little old school today. I haven't brought these screens up in a while, but, just gives you a quick glance of what's going on. Look at the Dow and the NASDAQ and the S&P. And the action today, the Dow finished on a high. You know what? I didn't like this drop. I just didn't like the drop, the sell-off right in the morning. I mean, soon as the market opened, futures were on fire, right? And then, boom, the market opens and the sell. I mean, it sold all the way till noon. Averages went negative, and it was like, what? What is going on here? So it was actually a pretty good recovery. But these guys, I mean, they still didn't close at the high of the day, but the Dow did. So that was nice action on the Dow, and the S&P almost did. Let's look at the heat map and see what's going on. Apple, oh man, it just, wow, it's just down. It was up, it was up 3%, down. Microsoft, down. Facebook, Google, I mean, these stocks are on fire, especially Facebook, man. That was some nice action today. I'm actually a little jealous that I wasn't in it. I sold my Facebook a while ago, and I was just afraid to get back in it. Tesla, told you about that, right? Amazon's kicking ass after the bell. I kind of didn't like the price action after the bell, but it's still up. It's holding its gains. It's up like 3.5% or something like that. So let's go ahead and go to the charts and just see what's going on here. All right, since Amazon reported after the bell, we go ahead and look at Amazon first. And you see I got these lines all over the place. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clear all these lines out. And let's just focus on this area right here, which is the current consolidation area. And there it is, right? So that's where it's been trading sideways. That's actually bullish action. So right now, when you look at the aftermarket, you can see this is Amazon. They reported, wow, popped all the way up to 36.70 for the most part, and then came down, and right now it's 35.96. So almost 100-point decline. It did have a 100-point decline when it's here. So I don't like it. We got the pop up, right? Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Here we go. We got the pop up, and then they sold it off. Somebody got a bad fill, and somebody got a good fill. Anyway, so we're up. We'll see what this thing does tomorrow, but yeah, it's up. So that's a good thing, but it's only up. I think that's about, what is it, about 3% or so. It's 34.71. We had 35.94, so about 120 points. Yeah, about 3.5% or so. Amazon is trading after the hours. So where does that put us? So Amazon right now is at 35.94. And I'm going to say right here, I'm going to draw a line. There we go. Now, what I'm concerned about is we're going to open up here. Let's say it holds, after hours, and we open up right there. I have a feeling we're going to hit this, and we're just going to sell right back into the range. I want to see Amazon actually break out of this area and continue to go higher. So, you know what will be a good entry price or whatever is this high right here. And I know this is 100 points away, but if somehow we can break past this after hours area, I think it could be safe to say, you know what, maybe they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to break out of the range, because I am concerned. I'm just not liking some of the action. Proof being is we can look at Shopify. Here's Shopify. Shopify reported a great number. That's got the weekly up. Let's pull up the daily. And you can see that gap up, right? What was it, up like 10% yesterday? And then look, man, down 4.5%. 55 points, giving it back, but that's okay. It's still up big. Maybe it's going to come down here to fill the gap, but you can see the sell-off from the excitement, the hype, right? It's just selling off. We could do the same thing with Apple today, and I was actually rooting for Apple. You know, Apple's kind of like the market. These guys reported a great earnings report. These guys make so much money. It's incredible. So it closed down 10 cents, but it was up. If you zoom in right here, look what we got, man. We got basically an outside day. Let me pull to the weekly and see what's going on in the weekly. And it could be, I don't know, tomorrow's the last day of the week. I'm like, are we going to have an outside week? Because some of the charts are showing that, but no, Apple's not looking like it's going to do that. But it's okay. It's okay. It sold off on earnings. It's just kind of got me worried. But, you know, we have stocks like Google, like where Google did not sell off on earnings. Matter of fact, it popped yesterday. Let's pull it up. Matter of fact, it popped yesterday, and what does it do today? It goes even higher, up $33. I showed you a video just yesterday. My Google trade on fire. Expect to extract another $20,000 out of that trade, and so far I'm up 20 grand. So you could keep going up, man. I just need you to stay above $2,400. So that's what I'm looking at. But you know, Google's getting overextended, but hey, it had good action today, man. Google, it's like, it's cheap. These guys are making so much money. People wasn't looking at, Google hasn't been doing anything for the longest, for the most part, slowly creeping up as of late, but it's kind of like growing into its multiple here because Google is actually on fire. So that's Google's action. Let's look at Facebook real quick. And Facebook had up 7.3%. That's great right there. See, this is what I want to see from Amazon. I mean, look how Facebook closed at the high today. I want to see it come out the range and close up here. I do not want to see it sell back off into the range. So Facebook actually looks good. I mean, that's a good candle, and this is a weekly candle, so we'll see how it closes tomorrow. I got one more day, but that looks good. You got all of this consolidation right here. Let me clear this out because there's only one thing we need to focus on, and that's right here, right? Look at the breakout. Look at the breakouts, nice and clear, it's defined, and man, if we could just kind of check back a little bit, this would be a great stock to get into and ride it higher. With this consolidation right here, it's like a squeeze, man, a volatility squeeze. Look at the moving averages separating. This thing can go a lot higher. I don't know how high, but it can kind of trend higher coming out of this consolidation area because it's like pressure, and the pressure, it's ready to explode. It's like, you know how when you boil milk and you could just turn around for a little bit, like you got a pot of water and you put like a cup of milk in there, you're making noodles or something, and you turn away for a second, next thing you know, it's overflowing and it's just like, oh my gosh, milk. Anyway, it's like it's gonna just explode and ooze out of this area. Was that a good? Nah, I don't know if that was a good example. How about a bottle rocket? It's just gonna take off. Let's get back to the charts. All right, so you can see I'm having a little fun with it today, but look, that's obvious right there, right? I mean, even if you don't know charts, you know, hey man, look at that. It's kind of coming out of that. It's kind of coming out of that gray area. So that's a great. I like this. I like this a lot. It's just, what sucks about it is just that it's up 7%. Don't really want to go long when something is up 7%. So hopefully we can get a pullback. But look at Google. I mean, Google's not giving us a pullback into the range. I don't know if Facebook's going to do it either, but this is something to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on. Look at the volume. This is beautiful. That's a picture perfect breakout right there. Qualcomm was another stock that actually done well today, coming off the lows. I like this is the weekly candle, and we got like an outside. Yeah, just about. Let me zoom in tight right there. Yeah, we might have an outside week, right? Over the last 3 weeks. And that should be nice pressure to bring it up and start working its way towards the highs. So if you're a Qualcomm fan or the chips fan, that's a pretty good chart right there, right? And you have a area, if you want to get out, you want to play it safe. Look at that low right there. Look at that low. That's a good area to kind of just bail, right? And say, hey, man, I'm going to wait, right? So you could kind of get in this, play it, trade it, do whatever. I like Qualcomm for the long run. I'm not in it. I don't trade it, but I want to be in it, but I'm just not. But I do like it for the long run. And there's a area, if you're a short-term trader, that you can get out on. That low is 132.47. Here's another stock that concerned me today, and this is Royal Caribbean Group, right? RCL, the ships, the cruise liners. This thing was up like 3% today, 4% today. And look at that candle, man. And the reason why it was up, because they said, was it the CDC that said these guys can basically probably cruise in July, man. So all of these stocks was up big and they sold it off. I mean, oh my gosh, man. So I'm not liking that. I'm seeing, some of these stocks sell off, and that's what's giving me concern, maybe with Amazon and just with the market in general, because after FANG, basically, in my opinion, the earnings season is over, right? We know the biggest companies reported, and now what? Where's the juice? What's going to bring us back? And so what's going to bring us forward, right? What's going to make us go higher? And since those are out the way and they was kind of getting sold off, except for a couple, what's going to just make them turn around and go even higher? Especially when they made a lot of their gains with the lockdown, right? So now that we kind of opening up the economy, are these stocks going to continue to rip higher? And I think this is the concern of what's going on with the market. I forgot, let's pull up Twitter, because Twitter was one of those stocks and it reported after the bell, and right now it's trading at 58.91. It closed at 65.09. Let's look at the after hours action, and you can see Twitter, for the most part, just getting smoked in the after hours. So now, a stock that was once $70+ is now $58.92. And I told you guys on the channel, if you watch me, that Twitter will break your heart. It's your break your heart stock. So this thing is going to open up right here somewhere, right? And let me see if I draw a trend line. Yeah, this thing is going to basically open right on trend. So when it opens up, maybe that's the buy point, right? Maybe it'll start to trend higher, but keep an eye on that trend line. This is pretty solid. It goes way back to the previous March lows, right? The COVID lows. So keep an eye on this. If it breaks this trend line, I think we really need to be concerned with Twitter. So I'm gonna make it nice and clean. Yeah, we're gonna open up somewhere close to this trend line right here, right? And I just see it kind of sinking down and maybe touching. Maybe we go to 54. And if we get down there, that may actually be the buy point to get in. Did we talk about eBay, right? eBay, oh man, down 10% today. And if I pull up the monthly, you can see eBay was a great stock. This thing was like chugging higher, just ready to break out, make new highs. But they reported earnings. Let's go back to the weekly. Let's go back to the daily so you can see that destruction. Look at that gap down. So they reported earnings, which was good, but the forecast was terrible. Basically, they're saying, hey, we're kind of reopening and we don't know if we're going to hit these kind of numbers like this. So gap down and a lot of competition in the space, by the way. This thing just looks like it's going to go lower, right? I'm just going to draw a quick trend line. I see that. We got to keep an eye on this, because not necessarily because it's eBay or eBay is this great company, but if we start to see stocks breaking the uptrend, we need to be concerned, right? Because everything, for the most part, everything has been trading higher. It's just been going uptrend. We haven't really been seeing any trends being broke on any stock. You pick a stock, it just goes higher. That's why everybody's a genius. Everybody's on YouTube doing what I do, even me. And in stocks, we're all geniuses, right? It doesn't matter what you pick. It just goes. So long as you say it's going up, it goes up, right? Don't go against the trend. But the good thing about eBay is it does this, right? Look, we got it down here. eBay loves giving you these big, steep downtrends, right? So it's just in the nature of the stock. But is it going to hold here and bounce, or is it going to break trend? And shoot, if it breaks trend, it could go lower, right? It's just be done. It's done. Let's pull up the VIX and we look at the VIX real quick, and this will be my final chart. And I was always saying once we break 20, of course, if we break 20, the markets will be going higher because the VIX is going lower. But and you can see how we have these great earnings report, and the VIX actually closed higher today, up 1.91. I mean, there's nervousness starting to enter the market. Look at the slow stochastic on a weekly, got a crossover starting to point up. And I don't know, even though I do feel the VIX will eventually go down to 12, right? 12, 11 in that area, 12, 11, 13. I should say 11, 12, 13. Basically at the low end. I don't know if it's ready to do it right now. So we might have some more volatility that goes up and then maybe finally comes back down. Maybe after the next spike, the next sell-off, maybe that gets the weak hands out and then people start buying. Then maybe we go to the lower end of the range. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work out, but I'm just feeling the market is looking toppy. One more chart I forgot to look at, and that's the SPY. Here is the SPY, and let's pull up the weekly, and you can see, wow, look how it's just total taking off. Look at that extension, man. Wow, it's just crazy. I'm going to pull up the daily. Let me clear these out real quick. Nope. Yeah, let me clear these out real quick. And let me draw a trend line on top, okay? So let's see, and you can see what's happening here. Right there. And we're at, are we going to break through the upper trend line, or are we just going to kind of go back into the channel? And there's the channel. We'll say that kind of blew through, but we got 1 touch, 2 touch, and 3 touch. We'll call it 3 touch. So I think that, hey, if you're a call seller, you could sell these calls up here all day. I think you'll be safe here. Just go out far enough and high enough so it's not. We'll have to have a crazy explosion to kind of even be going way up in here. But it looks like we're just going to kind of eventually bring it back down to the bottom of the range. I think the only thing that elevated us here is earnings. What are the companies going to do? Now we know what they're going to do. So is it going to be able to hold it? Or is it going to sink back in the range? Now, 3 things can happen, right? We can continue to go sideways. We can go up or down. I think we're going down, sideways number 2, but up number 3. I just don't see what? We already had earnings reports, right? So what exactly is going to blow us through the upper end of the channel and push us to higher prices? Let's go to Qs. And Qs, it almost seems that same struggle, but I actually like the Qs setup here. You almost got like a cup and handle formation, but with some of the stocks and the way they traded, is it going to break that upper? Trying to draw, get the line tool. Is it going to be able to? Well, I don't know what to draw here. Here we draw a box. Is it going to be able to break this channel? I have to really maneuver this. Is it going to be able to break out of this range here, right? I got the cup handle. Yeah, this is like a cup and handle, but this is not. The handle needs to be a little bit lower. It needs to be below the brim here, and kind of on weak volume as well. Not the best volume. So we'll see what happens. You can see the low end of the channel, just like the S&P. And wow, look at that. Maybe that's not the greatest channel. Maybe this is more the channel. There's more touches right here. By the way, the more touches you have on your trend lines, the more confirmation you get. Well, you know what? When I draw it like that, I'm like, well, it's right there in the middle of the channel. Maybe we can push higher, maybe we can, but it just looks, I don't know. That's so weird, man. I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, but it just looks toppy. Look at the slow stochastic, trying to turn down, but if this channel is valid, I just got done saying we got the more touches, the more valid it will be. I gotta say that, well, we're in the middle of the range, man. Maybe we can creep a little higher or creep a little lower. Maybe the earnings season, especially for the big stocks that's powering these QQQs, maybe we know now what's going to be the bosses and what's going to be the weak ones. The weak ones, Twitter. The weak ones, Pinterest was a stock I wanted to show you. The good ones, Facebook. The good ones, Google. And let's see what Amazon does tomorrow. Apple, Microsoft, I don't know. I'm not saying these guys are going to be going down like substantially, but I don't know, man. The up is, it's just going to be that slow, boring Microsoft again. And same with Apple. Let's pull up Microsoft real quick and you can see what's going on here. It's actually another stock I wanted to bring up because I'm not liking the action. Let me kind of make that a little bigger, slide it down a little bit, and you can see the earnings, right? Gap down. What is it doing here? What is it doing? Come on, you're Microsoft. You actually had a pretty decent earnings report. Now, you see that gap right there? So I'm thinking, well, maybe we filled the gap, right? And you can see the bounce, today's bounce. And we came right to that point. So maybe we can start to go higher here, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if this breaks that trend and maybe wants to come down and test this consolidation area right here. I don't know. I had mentioned pins. Let's pull up pins real quick. Look at Pinterest, right? Gap down yesterday was bad, but today a little bit of recovery, up 2.83%. And we're right at the bottom of the range. So let's see if are we gonna break through or is it gonna bounce here like it's been doing for the last quarter or so ago. So there we are with Pinterest. Let me see what the bid is. Yeah, it's already getting some of that Twitter love or that Twitter hate because Twitter's down hard in the after hours. So it closed at 68.21. Pinterest, and now the bid ask is 67.84. So that's not quite the bottom of the range. So there's gonna be some pressure on Pinterest going lower. So out of the social media stocks, Facebook and Google, those are the ones to trade. Those are the ones to trade to the next earnings, right? Because the other stocks are just ain't doing it. I forgot to bring up Snap. Snap is a stock that I don't talk about much. All right, so we'll look at it on this video. I try to keep these videos short. Let's look at Snap real quick. And Snap is up 0.24. Did these guys report? I'm not even sure if they reported or not. So forgive me for that. I wasn't prepared to pull up Snap. But I actually like this. I like what I see here. This if you could see the difference from what the stocks that I was showing you a minute ago to now, right? So you can see how it's pushing on the upper end of the channel. You even got a inverse head and shoulders here. And this is a powerful pattern. This is my favorite pattern when I see it. So that usually tends to resolve itself to the upside like that. So I actually like Snap and what the chart looks like. So that's the chart, looks pretty good for the breakout. Maybe you can buy it on any weakness. Look at the volume coming in right there. Look at the stochastic pointing to the upside. Let's put the weekly and see what that looks like real quick. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Snap. I like Snap right here. I just pulled it up and now I got to figure out a way to put a trade on with this thing. All right, so that's the video. I mean, I just went through a couple of stocks, looked at some of the runners and the earners and the fangs for the most part, because I always feel that they are the market when it's earnings season, right? When you think of earnings season, what stocks, you want to hear what these guys got to say. They are the biggest companies in the world. They got their hands everywhere. You can kind of gauge and know what's going on for the most part. And yeah, let's just see if these guys can hold on to the gains. But generally, after these guys report, things just kind of seem to get a little weaker right now. And let me see real quick. I'm just gonna look at the SPY, and the SPY closed at 420.06. Right now, the bid ask is 419.62. So down, what is that? 40, about 50 cents for the most part on the after hours. So let's see. Anything can happen overnight. Maybe we open up and maybe Amazon saves the day, or maybe does it fall like some of the other stocks did. That would be bad. That would be bad. So the message of this video, let's just keep an eye on just a handful of stocks. And if we start seeing things break their trend, I think it's something to be concerned about. And my prediction 5 months ago was the first week of May is just gonna, that's it for the most part. And we stall. And with the cruise, especially RCL. Let me pull up CCL real quick. Just look at that. Yeah, that was down too. With them saying, hey, you guys can cruise. That's because this is a huge reopening stock. Remember, these guys were the incubators of the virus. And they finally gonna get their pass to kind of go ahead and see if you let's do a cruise and let's see how you do. You know what I mean? A test cruise. So they get to so basically they get the approval of a possible cruise date. These guys open up hard and then close on the lows. Did I miss something? I mean, things like that concern me. These reversal kind of days concern me. So I'm glad the S&P didn't continue to go down, like open on the high and continue to go down and bounce. Dow did close at its high. So let's just see, man. It's just that those signs just make you go, and the VIX being up as well. You know, the VIX, come on. All right, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Kind of little freestyle. I didn't really know what I was going to do, just going through some charts. So sorry about that, the lack of organization. But that's how we do here on Dre Trades. You know, hit me up in the comments and Twitter, Instagram on Dre Trades, all that. Like, subscribe. You know what to do. Thanks for watching, man. I'm out. Peace.